Путешествуем путешествие в будущее. Мир с самыми прогрессивными и творческими людьми нашей планеты, которые собрались вместе, чтобы бросить вызов проблемам, с которыми сталкивается человечество на планете Земля, чтобы сделать невозможное возможным и изменить этот мир. Это будущее происходит уже сейчас. rLoop рожден на этот вызов Илоном Маском, чтобы изменить понятие «транспортная система». rLoop – это мировая сеть, которая включает в себя самые выдающиеся и прогрессивных людей для создания глобальной инженерии, с помощью которой создаем левитационные платформы, способные двигаться со скоростью 1000 км в час. Эти невероятные инновации стали возможным только благодаря совместным усилиям команды, собранной со всех уголков нашей планеты, для проектирования лучшего будущего, чтобы поверить, что это все возможно. Все значит все, без каких-либо исключений, потому что если команды, в состав которой входят прогрессивные люди со всех уголков нашей планеты, разрабатывают, проектируют и изобретают новые виды транспортных и совершенно новые подходы к работе, представьте, чего мы сможем добиться в будущем. Давайте, отважься. Завтра не ждет нас, мир меняется сегодня. И это мы, те, кто вводит в свет новые изменения. Присоединяйтесь к нам. Мы делаем невозможное возможным. Давайте сделаем то будущее, о котором мы мечтаем.
Thank you very much. So guys, my name is Ілляс Валі. I'm from rLoop. I'm going to talk to you today about how we started and 4 years later where we're at today.
Меня зовут Ілляс Валі, я из rLoop, и сегодня я расскажу вам историю о том, как родился rLoop.
We live in a new era. It wasn't long ago when we'd look up at the sky and we'd see a bird and we'd want to fly like the bird.
Человечество, еще недавно человечество смотрело в небо и видело птиц, и хотело летать так, как это делают птицы.
Today, a bird is flying in the sky, and he looks to his right or his left, and he sees man sleeping inside an aeroplane. You know, we've advanced.
Сегодня птицы летают в небе и видят людей рядом с собой, спящих в самолетах. Это прогресс.
So who remembers 1985? I do, right? I was 5 years old, and my uncle took me to watch The Future.
С помощью наших мобильных телефонов мы можем видеть друг друга, FaceTime, и звонить по всему свету. Это тоже прогресс.
And I thought in 1985, 2015 would look like this, that would be flying around.
Мы видим инновации и новые формы работы. Мы оканчиваем университеты дистанционно.
But 2015's come and gone, and we're not flying around.
Мы хотим разрабатывать ракеты, но вместо этого работаем в кофейне.
So what happened? So Peter Thiel said it best. We wanted flying cars, instead we got additional characters on Twitter.
Питер Thiel сказал лучше всего, что мы хотим летающие машины, но вместо этого имеем Твиттер с 140 символов.
So why aren't we flying around?
Почему это случилось? Почему мы не летаем?
What's the problem?
В чем причина?
We call it the innovation bottleneck.
Причина в так называемой инновационной пробке.
Now there's quite a few issues when it comes to innovation. If we look at the last 5 decades or the last 50 years, there's been a slowdown in innovation.
Технологии ведут к экономическому росту, поэтому мы требуем инноваций.
Now there's many reasons for this. One is banks and investors, they tend to invest in companies that give you a quicker return on investment.
Здесь очень много проблем. Если мы посмотрим назад на 50 лет, мы сможем увидеть снижение роста в развитии инноваций.
The other issue that we have is historically a country or a nation state would spend 2 to 3% of their GDP on R&D and innovation. Today that investment is less than 1%.
Исторически сложилось, что правительство любой страны тратит 2-3% от ВВП на инновации. И сегодня это менее чем 1%.
And we all feel the effects of it, right? After we graduate, we want to build rocket engines, but instead we're faced with a lack of jobs, and we're working in a shopping mall or a coffee shop or designing lawnmower blades instead of rocket engines.
Мы имеем и другие проблемы с банковской системой и другими инвестиционными компаниями, так как они инвестируют только в быстрый возврат денежных средств.
So what's the solution?
Какое же решение?
Some of the slides are cut out, but it's moonshot projects.
Мы называем это moonshot projects. Это рискованные вложения инвестиций в долгосрочные проекты.
So what are moonshot projects? It's not only advancements in software, but it's actually advancements in hardware. And hardware advancements is what's required for innovation.
Наша миссия – это развитие и претворение в жизнь инновационных технологий с огромным желанием улучшить этот мир и человечество.
So what's the mission at rLoop? Our mission is to develop and launch innovative technology with a genuine desire to fuel and advance humanity.
С огромным желанием, наша миссия с огромным желанием просто улучшить человечество и мир.
So how are we going to do this, right? Firstly, we need to find our innovators. So who are they? It's all of you.
Сперва надо найти вдохновителей. Это все вы, здесь сидящие.
Okay, so how are we going to do with it? We found all of you innovators. You're all here today to learn a new skill or to learn something new and take it back to industry.
После нахождения вы все здесь изучаете что-то новое и приобретаете новые знания.
Now, what if we could find a way to get all of you innovators to work together just for 5 minutes a day? Just give me 5 minutes.
Почему бы нам не присоединиться все вместе для того, чтобы когда мы уже работаем вместе, давайте проработаем эту проблему.
So we found all our innovators. Now let's find a problem. In our case, it was the Hyperloop.
Только работая вместе с разных уголков планеты, мы сможем найти решение этих проблем. В нашем случае это проблема rLoop.
So in our case, it was the Hyperloop. We had to design and engineer a completely new system, a completely new mode of transportation.
Когда это все началось? Это началось в 2013, когда Илон Маск бросил вызов и представил новую модель транспорта, называемую rLoop.
So where did it all begin? In 2013, Elon Musk came up with a white paper for a new mode of transportation. And the story goes that in 2015, he wasn't happy with the speed of development. So on Reddit, on the SpaceX subreddit, Elon Musk and SpaceX made an announcement for a global Hyperloop competition.
История гласит, что где-то в 2015 году он был недоволен результатом продвижения этого проекта и объявил всемирное соревнование.
Now the SpaceX subreddit, the community is around 100,000 people. Some people directly from industry, and people like myself who are from all over the world. And they just follow the SpaceX subreddit. So as soon as Elon Musk or SpaceX made the announcement for the competition, a few of us were on the SpaceX subreddit, and one person said, why don't we form a team online?
И он попросил университетские команды и инженерные компании посоревноваться в инженерном дизайне по всему миру. Соревнование было объявлено на платформе SpaceX, где-то в интернете.
So we had one engineer who said, okay, I can help with the mechanical engineering. We had somebody who did computer software, said I can help with the programming. We had non-engineers who said we can help with administration and social media. And just like that, rLoop was born.
SpaceX имеет более 100 тысяч подписчиков, и кто-то из них сказал, почему бы нам не посоревноваться здесь вместе на платформе Reddit, так как там много полезной информации можно было найти. Кто-то ответил, что я инженер, готов поучаствовать, кто-то сказал, что я могу просто помочь.
So people from all over the world started to join. Our team of experts came from all over the world. We never knew anybody. But what we later realized is some of the people that joined were propulsion engineers at NASA, or mechanical engineers at Boeing, or somebody working at British Aerospace. So we had some really, really good technical talent within the group.
Так был рожден rLoop. Наши сотрудники по всему свету, некоторые никогда не видели даже друг друга в лицо. Но посредством коммуникации мы работаем вместе. Некоторые из from NASA, другие из ведущих компаний. И все они вносят свой вклад в этот проект.
So SpaceX and Elon Musk made the announcement in June 2015, and that's when rLoop was born. As soon as the competition was announced, there was 2,000 companies and universities around the world that had an interest in competing into the competition, and only 12 teams out of the 2,000 were going to get selected.
Сроки были довольно сжатые. Соревнование было объявлено в июне 2015 года с участниками около 2000. И только 12 компаний было отобрано к концу соревнования, и rLoop была одна из них.
And the handful of us were one of the 12 that got selected with our engineering designs.
Это наш первый трофей от Илона Маска.
So there were two categories on the day. There was one non-student category and one student category. We were the non-student category. And this was the first award we received from Elon Musk and SpaceX.
Это конкретно награда от Илона Маска, подписанная им.
But this is when the challenges really started, right? Whilst we can design and engineer virtually, we now had to build a physical prototype for the future of transportation, a vehicle that was capable of speeds of 400 miles per hour.
После выигрыша мы должны были сделать прототип, и это было действительно вызов для нас, потому что мы имеем полную занятость на других работах.
Now, I'm based in the UK. I have a full-time job. Most of our engineers on the forum had a full-time job. So everything that we did in our spare time. And how did we do it? We got some sponsors. One of the sponsors that we got was TE, and they gave us an R&D center in Silicon Valley opposite Facebook. And what we did was we contacted the local colleges and local students and asked them to come and assist us build this, whilst they would upskill and would give them skills and training. So I would be in the UK, other engineers would be all over the world, and they'd give instructions to the guys physically on the ground in Silicon Valley, saying, bend this, fold this, cut this, screw this, and so forth.
Так как можем физически, мы не могли физически создать этот проект, потому что были разбросаны по всему миру. Что мы сделали? Мы нашли спонсоров. Один из них это компания TE, которая дала нам офис, предоставила в Силиконовой долине и спонсировала нас оборудованием, которое нам требовалось для создания прототипа. Мы связались с университетами и другими организациями около Силиконовой долины и попросили их в свободное от работы и учебы время, следуя нашим инструкциям по интернету, шаг за шагом создавать эти прототипы. Это была гонка со временем.
And before you know it, it was competition time.
Мы создали прототип.
This is a great picture for us. This is the first time engineers from around the world came together at SpaceX. This is about a group of 65 people from more than 21 countries. People who had been working with each other for more than 2 years and never met. People that were working on the engineering remotely and never touched it.
Это очень памятное для нас фото, где мы увидели друг друга в первый раз в соревнованиях в январе 2017 года после двухлетней напряженной работы. В это время, когда все технологии, над которыми мы работали, но никогда их не видели ранее, мы увидели впервые.
And the result was that we won the pod Hyperloop competition. So this was the first Hyperloop competition in the world, and a group of people from around the world that just got together, built a Hyperloop and won the competition.
Это вторая награда Hyperloop инновации, наш второй трофей.
This was the second award that we received from SpaceX and Elon after winning the Hyperloop Pod Innovation Award.
Let's see here. The results as well.
Elon was quite impressed. He was impressed with not only what we did, but more importantly, how we went about doing it.
Илон Маск был шокирован не только тем, что мы делаем, но и тем, как мы это делаем.
So he asked us personally to come back to SpaceX 6 months later to test the engineering further.
Он попросил нас приехать летом, и мы протестировали бы наш прототип снова.
And we achieved some world first statuses in 2017. It's 2019 now, and there's not been any other Hyperloop engineering company that's built or designed or demonstrated technology more advanced than we have.
Мы начали свою работу в июне 2015, а сейчас 2019 год. И так за 4 года мы чего достигли?
More importantly, it's the first engineering system that's ever been designed and built by the crowd, so people like yourselves.
Это первая инженерная система, которая разработана и построена людьми по всему свету, по всему миру.
We're over 4 years in now, and while picking up some of the Hyperloop awards, we also picked up some international awards.
Итак, распределенная по всему миру мировая ресурсная инновационная платформа.
Today we're over 1,500 engineers from more than 59 countries.
Сегодня мы насчитываем более 1500 участников с 59 стран.
And we've been covered by press all over the world.
Наша компания освещена прессой по всему миру.
After winning the competition, we completed what we set out to do. And for us, it was a decision as to what do we do now? Should we, because we've won, it's finished. But what we realized was all of the value that was created from the way we were working, but also the technology that we engineered and built.
После выигрыша в соревновании мы не знали, что делать. Мы достигли результата, что делать дальше. Некоторые из нас очень сильно устали, другие, и им нужен был перерыв. Другие, наоборот, хотели работать, и много новых участников присоединилось. Поэтому мы решили переделать дизайн Hyperloop.
So we went back to the drawing board and we redesigned a full-scale Hyperloop pod this time, a full-scale passenger pod and a full-scale cargo pod. We've 3D printed it now, and this is a 3D printed mock-up design.
Вы видите прототипы и переделанный дизайн в полном масштабе пассажирского, грузового, и вот последний это 3D прототип.
This is demonstrating how a full-scale Hyperloop passenger and cargo would work. The build is very modular.
Это прототип демонстрирует, как реорганизован дизайнер для пассажира грузового Hyperloop.
So it's a modular design. The same system can be used for cargo as well as passenger. But you ain't seen nothing yet. Remember 1985 and that dream of flying?
Ты еще ничего не видел. Ты когда-нибудь мечтал о том, чтобы полететь?
So what we did was we entered into another competition.
Это рекламный ролик, который агитирует на то, чтобы принимать участие в таких проектах.
So So this was another competition that we wanted to enter. This was a competition by Boeing, and it was to design a flying vehicle, so an individual flying motorcycle.
Ролик, посвященный тому, как люди хотели летать, что они достигли и какие мечты у них есть дальше.
So after many designs, we came up with our design, which is a completely VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing flying vehicle.
Поэтому мы занялись проектом вертикального левитационного транспортного средства.
And whilst we're designing virtually and manufacturing in a distributed way, what we also want to do is make the processes a lot easier. So what we have here is a virtual reality model where engineers from around the world are building the prototype first in virtual reality before we start manufacturing.
Сначала мы создали его виртуально, и с помощью специально созданной нами программы мы виртуально спланировали, как, что, зачем мы должны технически сделать, чтобы превратить этот проект в реальность.
So bringing the cost of manufacturing down. And this is where we've built a scalable prototype now. So a small scale.
Это прототип нашего вертикального средства для передвижения в мини-масштабе.
And this is us testing the avionics and gathering some data on the small scale.
Это его испытание.
This was around Christmas 2018. Once we did that, we started building the full scale.
Сейчас вы видите его работу в микропроекте, в микромасштабе.
This is one of our engineers piecing the full scale together.
Затем мы приступили к разработке транспортного средства в полную величину.
This is now our full scale prototype that's been built.
Это то, как выглядит проект.
And this is us testing it. So the testing is currently going on right now. You can follow us on our social media. You'll see latest testing results.
Это тестирование нашего вертикального транспортного средства.
So again, the model proves that crowdsourcing works and the power of crowdsourcing works. The first time we won the Hyperloop competition, we entered another competition, we've built a prototype, and we're in the final stage.
Чтобы попасть в 12 лучших, мы должны были выиграть соревнования по 3 фазам. И это был сертификат на то, что мы входим в 12 лучших инновационных проектов по Hyperloop.
So rLoop started off as a Hyperloop competition team. Today it's become a global innovation platform. And Hyperloop is just one of the projects that we do. We have projects in the offline, we also have robotics projects, and we're also tinkering around in nanosatellites and also a smart factory.
Итак, чем же занимается rLoop Company? Мы разрабатываем вертикальные транспортные левитационные средства, мы разрабатываем Hyperloop, также робототехника для использования в быту, и у нас есть специальная фабрика новых идей.
So what's next?
Что следующее?
Many great inventions of the past were discovered by accident. The X-ray was discovered by accident. The glue required for post-it notes were discovered by accident.
Много выдающихся инноваций было создано просто случайно, так как рентген или стикеры.
And for us, it was exactly the same. We just entered to build a Hyperloop for the competition. But what we realized is really what we're doing is the power of the processes that we were creating. And what we were really doing was, just like we connected people and our innovators from around the world, what we were really doing was building the foundations for the future of work.
После разработки Hyperloop мы не суживаем нашу работу, мы также работаем над проектами будущего.
So now anyone from anywhere in the world can come onto a platform, do a task, be paid for that task, and also own the technology that's been developed.
Совершенно случайно была изобретена система удаленной работы. Почему мы должны ждать до 30 дней для того, чтобы получить зарплату? Вместо этого можно получать зарплату еще до выполнения окончательного выполнения проекта.
Now, this is a scale for remote working. Before the internet, everyone was here. Most companies are around number 3 now, but rLoop from day one started at number 5. We had no employees, we had no offices, we had no money.
Это представлена диаграмма отдаленной работы. Сначала все работали в офисе, затем, возможно, была переписка, затем сейчас мы работаем где угодно, у нас нет офиса, у нас нет какой-либо привязки, мы работаем по всему миру.
And what we did was just out of the sheer passion of engineering or sheer passion of working and doing something great, we created lots and lots of value. Now most people will know somebody that works from home. We all wish to do this, work on a beach and get paid. I want to be there on a mountain or in a monastery in Japan where life hasn't changed since the 13th century.
Разработанная нами система удаленного доступа, мы можем работать где угодно, в том месте, где вам нравится. Лично я предпочитаю работать в горах.
So whilst we're creating new ways of working remotely, we're also at the same time challenging how we get paid. Now everyone's been employed, you work for a whole month and you get paid at the end of the month. What does it cost the company to pay you at the end of every week or at the end of every day? It doesn't cost them anything. We have the cash flow and forecast worked out for the whole year, or most companies do. So it's really just the push of a button and they can pay you at the end of every day. Would it make a difference to our lives? It'd make a massive difference to our lives.
Вместе с инновационной разработкой работы, удаленной от офиса, мы также разработали новую систему оплаты труда. Почему вы должны платить именно один раз в месяц, если мы можем платить еженедельно, ежедневно и даже в конце определенного проекта?
What we want to do is completely change the economics of work. And we want to pay somebody before his sweat dries. So imagine doing a task and being paid for that task immediately on completion. And we're utilizing blockchain technology and smart contracts to do this.
Иногда мы платим людям еще до завершения их проекта, не ожидая конечного результата.
So just before I finish, I live in England, and just down the road from where I live, this incident happened where somebody was owed $600 and he wasn't paid for 1 month. But he got so angry, he got into a tractor, went inside a brand new hotel which was going to open in a week and completely destroyed it.
Это случилось в Лондоне. Молодому человеку не заплатили $600, и он был так разозлен, что взял трактором и сломал весь отель. Неужели эти $600 стоили отеля?
And this was only for $600. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if we're going to change the way we're working with the technologies that we have, we should also be able to change the economics of work and make lives better for everybody.
Если бы они заплатили ему эти $600, отель бы остался в целости и сохранности, и ничего бы не случилось. Никто не спросил его, почему он это сделал и что привело его к такому принятию решения.
So, to sum up, what is rLoop? rLoop is a global company. It's completely crowdsourced, so it's completely owned and run by the community or the people. And it's completely decentralized. From day one, we've had no offices. We've had no physical central presence. We're scattered all over the world. And
Это наша система, мы разбросаны по всему миру, источники поступают с разных людей, и у нас полная децентрализация. У нас нет ни офиса, ни какой-то общей платформы.
Now, if we were to summarize the success of rLoop, it comes down to really just one thing, which is changing your mindset, having the mindset of a bee, which is just to serve humanity. Once we do that, and we're around the people with the same type of thinking, just like the bee, you create a waste product or a byproduct, which is honey. In our case, it's intellectual property, it's patents that are created, and that's distributed throughout the entire community. So everybody owns the patents and also the intellectual property that's created, plus you're also paid for the work that you do immediately.
Сейчас вы видите на экране пчелу. Если вы будете работать как пчела, вы подходите к нам в нашу компанию. Как работает пчела? Все, что она делает для людей, для человечества. Она опыляет растения, поэтому мы можем дышать. Побочной продукцией ее деятельности является мед, который мы тоже употребляем в пищу.
And as my final words, I just say for everybody, just find your passion. What is it that you really want to do? Find it and follow it, and you will truly have a successful life.
Если вы будете также работать альтруистично все для людей, мы с вами сможем достичь прекрасных результатов вместе.
Thank you very much.
Спасибо большое.
But just in case, I would like to ask Ilias to stay on the stage because still I have a lot of questions. And I think our audience will be interested generally to understand it more. About air flight, do you hear me?
Yeah.
Please, Ilias, am I correct in pronouncing your name? How is it possible? Well, you've explained like main things considering how the technology may be built, but how it will be like tested. Explain more still on the things which concern the technology development, building, design we've seen. I'm really interested how may it work and how will it work?
We don't know. I guess what we're doing is we're working at the edge of innovation, right? So we're engineering projects that haven't ever been designed or built before. The failure rates are extremely, extremely high. But the success comes because we've been able to bring down R&D costs to zero. So any other company that wanted to build a flying vehicle, they would first have to employ a lead engineer and then have a team of engineers working. And the cost of that goes into the millions. What we've been able to do is remove all of that cost and still create value just by engineering. In regards to testing, each aspect is tested as it's been built. So the electronics will be tested as it's been designed and built. The vehicle itself, as you can see in the scale model, and the full scale is tethered on a crane and then tested that way.
Okay, Ilias, still about another project which made me very interested. It's our bridge. Still, how it's gonna work? Because, well, in theory it sounds really nice, but on practice, how it may be.
So one of our projects that we have is called rBridge. rBridge is to bring any concept to reality. So if you think for the Hyperloop or for the R-Flight vehicle or for our robotics, we engineer design first, but then we have to physically make it. What rBridge is that we can bring any engineering design to a physical prototype extremely quickly, extremely cost-effective, or in our case, because of the sponsors that we have, we've brought the cost down to zero. So rBridge is bringing any concept to reality. Any idea you have, bring it to us and we'll build it for you.
Okay. Thank you, Alice. A lot of questions I still have to you. Considering your dedication and your devotion to blockchain technology. You're one of the, if I'm not mistaken, hardware organizations which use blockchain technology. You're in favor of it. And you've mentioned, quote, that it will help to overcome innovative bottleneck. Is that correct? And in how case? And how can it be applied to the most profound, levitative technology?
Okay. So I guess the question is, what are we doing with the blockchain and how we implement blockchain technology? So remember I said we have volunteers from all over the world. You can come onto our platform for just one day and assist us with one task. And that task could be anything, right? It could be anything related to our flight or to Hyperloop. But if any value has come out of it at the end, outside of your payment that you receive for the task, we also want to ensure that you take a share of any IP or patents that are created. So the only way to do that is to record and lock down every task every person does on the chain, on blockchain. And then if any value is created, there's no discrepancy or issues because we have a track record of who worked on what to create what. And that's effectively what we're doing. We're locking in cognitive supply on chain. So every thought process or every task that you've worked on, it's recorded to see if any value comes from it.
You've recently visited Bucharest, if I'm not mistaken, Blockchain Week, and before that you were present at InnoTrends in Berlin. Tell us more about which events do you visit now, how often, and maybe you have saved from those presentations something you haven't shared here.
Yeah, okay, interesting. In regards to events, I try not to do any at all, right? I have a day job. In my evening and spare times is off light. I just don't have any spare time. But it's always nice to come to an event that you call just to share the ideas and the way that we're working, because there's no company around the world that's doing this or challenging the traditional ways of working. And what was the last question?
The last question concerned maybe something you've shared there, you haven't shared here.
So something that I haven't shared already is we're working and we're building prototypes. But it's no point building prototypes if you can't take the prototype to market. Because at the end of the day, if you're not selling what you're building, you're just a bunch of kids playing around. In our case, what we've been able to do is commercialize our technology. So for the Hyperloop, we actually have commercial contracts today worth billions. And that value is owned by all of you. Another thing that we've done is in our robotics, we've created robots for the hospital and care industry, where they can assist doctors for patient records, or remote patient monitoring, or remote patient rehabilitation. So there's so many projects on the rLoop platform that are being worked on today, and a lot of them are coming to the stage where it's ready to commercialize, it's ready to go on the market. And the great thing about rLoop is that unlike any other organization or any other startup, they would have millions of dollars of costs that they would have to recover before they go into profit. In our case, the costs are near zero. So as soon as the first product is in the market, the company is in profit.
Ilias, is there something, one project with Saudi Arabia in 2030? Please tell us more about that.
She's been doing her homework, you can tell, right? So one of the busiest routes, public transport route, is in Saudi Arabia. It's at the time of Hajj, Mecca, when you get 2 to 5 million people coming from all over the world in one place in the space of 2 weeks. It's the busiest corridor in the world. So something like that, a Hyperloop or a transportation system for countries like that would be awesome. Now Saudi Arabia have a 2030 initiative, and what we're trying to do is work closely with them to bring transportation into the country, where we connect a 4-hour journey into 20 minutes. So it's only a 20-minute journey.
Ilias, may I ask a bit personal question, because I've read also a lot of news about Elon Musk, and I watched a lot of Bloomberg Technology when they claimed that he... Sorry?
The flamethrower.
Well, they said, for example, that sometimes when Elon Musk is not in a very good mood, he comes to his company and he sees somebody from his company, and he asks some quick question. If that person cannot answer straightforward, he may fire him or her. So in your case, were there some tensions, or all the time he was satisfied with all you do? Please share those moments.
I think if there's something that we've learned from Elon is anything is possible. You just have to have the passion and the right people around you that support you to get it done and get it done successfully. Working on impossible engineering problems and working in a decentralized way with no team is that, right? It's challenging that impossible. And I guess we get faced with similar issues all the time. We're working on tasks that are so complex that only a handful of people around the world are able to work on them. And it's similar challenges. Our community is quite family orientated, and we don't have any employees, so we don't fire people. But being from a different country or a different part of the world, being multi-skilled or multi-talented, it's what brings innovation and it's what drives innovation, and we do that every day.
Still, I would like to ask you if you won't mind about our flight. For me, it sounded like something surreal. So, for example, if I wanted to, I don't know, I mentioned Saudi Arabia, to visit the capital from Kiev, but I don't know how much kilometers are there. So, what is the speed? Might be.
So the off-flight vehicle is still a prototype. The speeds, we can probably get up to 200 miles per hour while you're in the sky. We'll probably reduce that, limit it down to around 140, 150 miles per hour. The challenges that we have today for flying vehicles is the amount of airtime that you can have. Now, most electrical powered flying vehicles will only be able to give you 5 minutes of flying time. We should be able to give you around 20 to 25 minutes of flying time. So whilst it might not be available today to fly from Ukraine to Saudi Arabia, which is over 1,000 miles away, you can certainly fly from here to Kiev. You can certainly fly from here to Kiev because the distance is much shorter. I think over time, as battery technology improves, then our flight time will be longer and we'll be able to do them longer distances. But I think in developing countries, or developed countries, should I say, the biggest problem that we're going to have is regulation, where you have a flying vehicle, but the government regulations don't allow you to fly in open airspace.
Ilias, from your perspective, when and is it possible, or do we need still to travel to other planets, or should we use this air flight only to fly from one city to another on Earth?
Yeah, the off-flight vehicle is designed for shorter distances on Earth. When's it going to be possible to go to other planets? Not in our lifetime, I'm sure.
Why I'm asking this? Because I would like you to share your personal vision. Well, you shared just recently how Elon Musk is can inspire. For your perspective, how can you inspire, and what do you see is possible during our lifetime, and what is still surreal and is left for the next generations to develop?
I think the main inspiration from him is technological advancement. So we'll see lots of driverless vehicles, we'll see electric vehicles, we'll see an advancements in there. But Elon's main vision is to become multi-planetary, and it's a great vision to have. For us at rLoop, our main vision, well, we'd like to keep our feet on the ground, so our main vision is to try and tackle problems for humanity and how we can advance humanity. So it's two different categories of working. Our category of working is for Earth and Earth only.
Ілляс, concerning the next event you're having after Zaporizhzhia, where are you heading? And please share, maybe our audience may meet you and again make acquaintance with your team.
Sure. So I think the next, if I understood that properly, my next talk is in Poland next week or the week after. Where I'll be sharing a similar presentation. And what was the other bit?
When the audience, if they are willing to, may meet some of members of your team,
yeah, absolutely.
Which is decentralized actually.
Absolutely. So rLoop is completely public. It's completely global. Any one of you can join anytime. Just go into our website, fill out a simple form, and join the platform. Once you're on the platform, I'm available to you, as well as 1,500 engineers from around the world.
You mentioned in your presentation that everybody can join, but still, doesn't need the person have an engineering background at least?
Yeah.
Well, which role he or she play?
So the purpose of rLoop is to find an individual and make him realize his passion. So just like in any other organization, you would have technical departments and non-technical departments. rLoop is the same. It's not just for engineers, it's for non-engineers also. We have administration departments, social media departments, marketing departments, design departments, public relations, PR departments. Anyone from anywhere in the world can join. We have some PhD astrophysics engineers who work for a rocket company, or in our case, Virgin Galactic, but in their spare time are working in social media. So it's
social
entirely
media,
up
yeah?
to you. Yeah, absolutely. So it's entirely up to you what you want to do. It doesn't mean that you're an engineer and you have to work on an engineering task. No, you can do whatever you want out of it.
Okay, please tell us, do you have a training program? What kind of competition is there? And so on.
Do we have a training program?
Yeah, do you have one?
Yeah, again, the community is there to help. So there may be aspects of work that you might want to do that you have no experience in, and the community is there to help you gain experience. And we've been able to do that to quite a lot of individuals. We've changed lives for people. There were members at rLoop that joined either from Africa or from India, and they had very little skill. And then over the years working for rLoop, today they're now working at SpaceX or Tesla, and they've moved countries, and we've really been able to change lives. So training is always available, the community is always there to help.
How do you think, do we need a Wi-Fi throughout the world? As the idea.
Yeah, one of the dreams at rLoop is to build nano
Free,
satellites.
as Elon Musk said.
Sorry?
Free, as Elon Musk mentioned.
100%. So one of the dreams at rLoop is to build nano satellites and launch it to space. Same as what Elon Musk wants to do with the satellites. But really, some of the things, what we're trying to do is build things so we can give it back to humanity for free. Humanity shouldn't be paying for education. Humanity shouldn't be paying for health. Humanity shouldn't be paying for internet or power, electricity. These things, nation states should be able to provide to support humanity. And I think that's what rLoop is doing. We're trying to build aspects that we can just give away to humanity so it improves their lives. And certainly, global free internet is a big dream for us.
Each company, when they build something, I mean, the product which they view, which the world needs, they have some philosophy, some idea. maybe from the point of view of more spiritual things, what is like the main key points which rLoop defines as their main, what do you want to change in the world?
Yeah, our values are very, very simple. We want to work on the world's biggest challenges through technological gain, so humanity advances and it makes lives easy for everybody.